Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Big day today. Lots happened in the market. Apologize, my computer froze up. I had to restart everything. Hopefully, all my tabs and stuff are good. Let's go see if I'm over on X. Looks like I am. And yeah, it looks like it's working over there. So give everyone a minute to get in here. Lots happening today, though. We got AI causing massive layoffs. We've got worry over the iron war, and we have some bad PPI data came in. So not a perfect situation, but hey, we're going to do what we're going to do. And it looks like my Twitter or X has been saving the show, so that's nice. Well, let's start out, try to look at the stock market. Hopefully it doesn't take everything too long to pop up here because, like I say, computer froze up, had to restart, right? Delayed me about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's all right. I'll talk fast. We'll get through this. Yeah, NASDAQ, as you can see, opened down 1%. Let's refresh that. I just want to make sure. But welcome, everyone. I see a bunch of people over on X. Welcome, welcome. It's also been working a lot better on X, and it has been saving it in case you want to listen to it later or share it as well. But yeah, basically, in a nutshell, I'm going to have to talk a little faster because I do have another show coming up top of the hour. I'm about, 15 minutes late because I had to restart my computer. But basically, look, started out, yesterday with some news we're going to talk about. Basically, some AI caused some big layoffs, and that scared people a bit. And of course, ongoing Iran war tensions. And then we just got really nailed today with the PPI data came in terrible. We'll cover that here for the end of the show. And then the market really tanked. So yeah, NASDAQ down 1.1% now. The Dow down about almost 1%, as well as the S&P down about 0.87. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Like I say, those three factors, but mostly the big drop came and kind of sealed the deal was that bad PPI, which means we'll talk about. That means the Fed is not going to be under any kind of pressure to cut. Yeah, S&P down 0.78. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin sitting at 66,193. We were getting up there around 68,000. Now we're all the way down to 66,000. However, we're off our lows of the evening, but down 2.7%. Not really what we want to see. Ethereum, 1,952. We lost that $2,000 mark. I hate it when you lose a big even. Never great. By the way, welcome everyone. GM, everyone listening over there on X. YouTube should be working as well. And Rumble, I don't know if anyone watches it live over there. But anyway, BNB down 2.2% as well, 612.89. And XRP down a little bigger hit, but it's been a little more volatile. It goes up and down a little bit more than the other coins do. But XRP, $1.37, down 4.8% for the day. Solana, which is same thing with XRP, taking a little bigger hit, 82.89, got all the way up there around 88 over the even middle of the night, late last night, and then it's coming down, being drugged down. And like I say, we'll see if it gets worse as the market opens, but down 5.6. Let's look at just what's happened in the last few minutes. Actually, it's up kind of off the lows. I think we kind of saw this coming when that PPI data came out. That's kind of right here, and it's kind of come up, though the stock market's gotten worse. So anyway, rough day today coming into the weekend. It started out with and it may take these pages a little bit to load up just because they were, like I said, they all shut down. So, but basically we got on tap here is, according to CNN, Block, the company behind Square, Cash App and Afterpay is cutting its staff by 40%. The reason, intelligence tools. So basically AI, according to a letter to shareholders by co-founder Jack Dorsey. So, and by the way, the stock shot up 25%. So it's 40%, 4,000 jobs lost at Block. So that's kind of started the slide last night when that news came out. But it's, a good thing or a bad thing. Horrible thing if you were one of those 4,000 employees. Good thing, I guess, if you're a shareholder. And it also shows what's where we're headed here. And yeah, Anthropic's CEO on 60 Minutes over the weekend, he warned 10 to 20% of unemployment rate within 12 months could come because of AI. And he thinks that it will replace half of the white collar jobs this decade. So it's coming. It seems to be happening even a little faster than maybe we anticipate. I'm going to be going machine gun style just because there is a lot to talk about. Listen, I hope that this show, really what I want you to take away from this show, besides I've been investing in the stock market since the first grade. I've been in crypto for 15 years. A little bit insight. Hopefully I can drop a little alpha on you, give you a little bit of wisdom and stuff for you to think about. Obviously not financial advice. Everyone needs to do their own research. Everyone's situation's different. But really what I want to do is I want to, in 30 minutes to an hour, I want to let you know everything that happened when you were sleeping and everything that might affect the stock market and the more importantly to us, the crypto market that day. And, just save you some time, help kind of, if you're watching on YouTube or X, maybe you can 2X speed it and listen. On a day like today, though, I'm already going to be talking fast because I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. But that's what I really hope you take away from this. All the news that happened in the last 24 hours. I run a crypto fund, so I'm up at this point 4 or 5 hours anyway, kind of looking over what's affecting, what could happen, things like that. So hopefully I can save you some time, drop a little wisdom on you as well. Take what you can use, discard the rest. But this is the question here. We look at these companies, how good they did after, how good the stocks did after the layoffs. And is this going to just spawn something, crazy? But Block just now, we talked about just yesterday, just got that news this morning, 25% it pumped. Meta recently 20%, Wayfair 18%, Pinterest 15%, Spotify 14%, Unity 12%, Amazon 12%, PayPal 11%, Dell 11%, Salesforce 10.5%, Microsoft 10%, Snap 10%, Dropbox 9%, Lyft 9%, Alphabet, which is Google 8%, Cisco 7%, Roku 7%, Intel 6%, Zoom 5%. So, man, the companies themselves may be better off with AI, but what happens to the workers and the overall economy is the question. It used to be, not in my lifetime even, but the generation before me, and especially like my grandparent and grandpa, they normally worked one job their whole lives, right? It was a whole different situation. That started to change about halfway through my parents' generation. And I've always realized that we're going to have to be nimble and be willing to change. Now it's crazy. We have the internet, which changed a lot of stuff, in my lifetime since I've been an adult. And now we have blockchain and we have AI and robotics, all three coming on. Crazy times. But let's be aware, don't, be nimble, use it to make money and capitalize on it, not just become a victim of it. And we also have, what was hurting the market before the PPI bad data, which we'll talk about last here. But we had, this is just a GM from Hannah Hughes out there in crypto. This isn't what I was looking for. This just gave me a regular page. What I was looking for was China warning on China warning all of its citizens to get out of Iran. We'll see if we can pull that. So GM Hannah, GM Crypto Mist, I guess. Friends out there. Anyway, they did tell their citizens to leave Iran immediately. So that tells you something's brewing over there, right? We also had similar situation with, this this showing, this was a good question if this pops up properly. Oh, huh. So that was the same thing. Let's get rid of that. The one thing here, if it pulls up, was, question, Gerald R. Ford, all this money, all this being spent over there, is that simply for, the U.S. Gerald Ford pulled into Israel? Too much money, too many preparations, too much at stake. Is all this just for negotiation, intimidation, or is it he's looking to strike? People are starting. This is Mario Nafal. He's one of the biggest news guys on X, right? And one of the biggest influence on X. He's just saying it feels like war is inevitable. I agree with him, right? But then again, you never know with Trump because he's a master negotiator. But nonetheless, uncertainty scares markets, especially us as crypto people. We know what happens. We know what happens on the weekend, and that is Trump likes to do these things on the weekend, and that tends to hurt us. So don't be too terrified if it happens, but be ready, and maybe just go touch some grass, enjoy yourself. Also, Mike Huckabee, who's the U.S. ambassador to Israel, he urged staff and email to leave immediately, writing they should do so today. So here we have China. We have China, Canada telling their people get out now. We have Huckabee telling his U.S. people and the embassy staff get out today. So feels like, we felt the same way last week and nothing happened, but it's feeling, it's what's shaking the markets. Part of what's shaking the markets. I believe this slide is once again taking a minute to load because I had to restart everything, but I believe this is Canada. No, this is Axiom. This is Axiom. We basically, lot of news yesterday. I think someone jumped it on the chat yesterday. Basically Axiom, which is one of the best perps exchange on Solana, found out, Shazbo, my guy over there, shit, this sounds like another Friday special. It seems like it, right? And now the Axiom news, other big news as well. But listen, I've always thought we're in the wild, wild west. We're living in the wild west. I felt for years that these perps exchanges always trading against their clients. There's no regulation. It's always a huge, that's kind of why I say stay away from leverage unless you really know what you're doing, right? We see hundreds of millions of dollars on a daily basis getting liquidated, but these exchanges, we also see the big news this week with Jane Street and what's happening, and Binance has been accused of it for manipulating the market, not egregiously doing what these guys were caught doing, which is literally their employees actively trading against their customers using proprietary data for them to trade against their customers. So we are shocked. This is from Axiom Exchange, which is a great exchange, by the way. We are shocked and disappointed to hear that someone on our team abused internal customer support tools to look up user wallets. We have removed access to these tools and will continue to investigate and hold the offending parties responsible. This does not represent us as a team. We have always tried to put the user first. We'll share updates on our Twitter as we learn more. Another interesting thing, and I heard Alchemist say this on his space last night, because I didn't, or yesterday morning, I didn't have this information. It happened as we were running our morning space yesterday, but Zach XBT was paid, I believe, by Pump.Fun to do this research against their competitor. Maybe they just saw what was going on, or I don't know. Maybe they heard about it. But anyway, my feeling is we're living in the Wild West. Everybody's doing this. That's my thought when I go into a perps exchange trade. And that's why I don't use leverage. Also, if this pops up, Pakistan and Afghan are in. Oh, no. This is Grant Cardone. Yeah. Grant Cardone looks like he's going to tokenize his whole portfolio potentially, which is cool. I know the Trumps are thinking of doing the same thing. So Grant, a recent convert convert over to Bitcoin, and his brother Gary. And then by recent, I mean in the last 3-4 years. But he's gone all in, right? He's packaging his when he raises money now for his deals. He puts a certain percentage. Say they raise 400 million, they might put 100 million aside to put it in Bitcoin. So they're kind of these hybrid deals, which is awesome. And I saw a great piece with him on CNBC or Fox Business or something recently. And what he said is like 95% of his investors that come in on these deals have no exposure to Bitcoin, but they like the idea of having it. So he's taking investors with a long-term mindset, and he's given them a product that's combined with BTC so they can get that exposure. Ingenious. Shout out and thank you to Grant Cardone for what he's doing. I love it. I love it. He's bringing money into Bitcoin, and in long-term holders, people with a long-term hold mentality wouldn't be doing it otherwise. Now he's talking about, if I'm understanding this, is he's talking about tokenizing the whole thing, which is one of the reasons I love the idea of RWA, real world assets and tokenization. And of course, we hear Larry Fink talking about it all the time, how amazing this is. You think of now someone in Kenya or Ethiopia or in Indonesia or India or somewhere like that, Philippines, they might not have access because there's literally 4 billion people that do not have access to real brokerage accounts and stuff. Think of them now being able to buy $1 worth of Grant Cardone hotel or a Trump hotel. So I think it's ingenious. I appreciate what Grant's doing. But Gary, they're always here hanging out with us, talking to us in spaces. I've been on a lot of spaces with these guys, especially more so with Gary than Grant. But cut it up quite a bit with these guys. They're big voices out there who are bringing new people into crypto. So I appreciate that. He also famously put his $88 million jet and his $7 million house up for sale. Or no, was it more than, what was his house for? Maybe it was, I can't remember, 700 Bitcoin. So yeah, I think, I forget, but anyway. Well, the one I think we skipped was the Pakistan-Afghan war. They're in full-blown war again. So we'll see if they can get, that's not good either. Let's see if they can get that sorted out here. But right here, you probably saw a few interviews with the CEO of Mr. Beast or Beast Enterprises, of which, they got their Feastables. They've got their shows. They're doing a lot of stuff. They've got their app coming up. So, billions of dollars deals there. But they said, the CEO said, Ethereum is the backbone of stablecoin and blockchain. We're a big fan of Ethereum. And here's what I say. Someone like this company coming on and looking, they're going to have two choices, Solana or Ethereum, really. Now, there's other choices out there, and I play those bets as well, especially with the news we had yesterday where the Stripe analyst thought we'll need 1 billion transactions per second to truly run the AI agents. It's going to take every blockchain and some that we don't even have, maybe all working together to pull that off. But you have a choice of Solana or Ethereum, right? These guys are going with Ethereum. It's slower, it's more expensive, but they're getting better. They're improving stuff, and they're more decentralized and potentially more secure. So you're going to choose one or the other, right? So these are both tokens you probably ought to own in your portfolio. I'm taking a bigger bet on Solana because it's faster and cheaper, and I feel like the technology is way ahead of it. But definitely Ethereum has some advantages, and the CEO of Beast Industries is doing that. So I'm a huge supporter of Mr. Beast, what he does. Love that guy. It was my nephews who told me about him. We raised my 3 nephews mostly. And when we had custody of them at one point, they're all in college now. One just got married, but one's just going on to work on his master's. But they're the ones that introduced me to Mr. Beast. So I love Mr. Beast. I love what he's doing, all the money he gives away, all the good stuff he does. So if you're joining us, just a quick recap. we basically had all these AI layoffs with Jack Dorsey and stuff. We have all these tensions with Iran and the US and now Pakistan and Afghanistan, kind of caused the market to tank. And then the PPI data really came out crap, which we haven't totally covered yet. We will. Those things brought the market down very badly. This was not what I wanted to pop up here, but Barclays Bank looks like $2 trillion Barclays Bank is exploring blockchain, including potential use of stablecoin tokenized assets. So this is news. This is breaking since my computer crashed. What I was going to talk about was UK's gambling commission to explore crypto payments for bets. So, but then we have this breaking news, which is great as well. So, so it's taking a second to load because I did have to restart my computer. Meta reportedly signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to lease AI chips from Google. So continues to move forward. Now, this is interesting too, especially based on that last one we saw. Mara stock surged 15% on AI data center expansion. Marathon Digital jumps after announcing a joint venture with Starwood to build AI data centers. Now, here's the interesting thing. Mara, a big Bitcoin miner worth billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar market cap, their value is about 10%. I think even with this jump, their value, and do your own research, right? But their value is below the price of the Bitcoin that they hold. And it's not factoring in all this AI data center stuff they're doing. So to me, Mara or Marathon Digital is starting to become very attractive. Very attractive. Yeah, Sosbo, yeah, AI seems to inflate asset prices but decrease employment, which is a problem for most people. Yeah, listen, overall, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for the companies. You know, we at Coinbase, not Coinbase, CoinZoom, 80%, 79 to 80%. And we've really focused on good, solid AI, right? So we can expand hopefully into tens of millions of users for our services and our crypto cards. But I don't know the exact number. I believe it's 79 or 80% of all our customer service is handled by the AI side of things. Like I say, it's something we focused heavily on. And some companies have great AI like CoinZoom and also Ledger, man. Ledger has incredible AI support. I was on GoDaddy the other day registering CryptoBullRon.com, since that's my name everywhere on all these social media platforms. Horrible AI, worst I've ever used in the modern era here. Anyway, but it's good for the companies, as we saw. It's good for Jack and his stockholders that they went up 25% and then they cut their as. But what about those 4,000 people? What about the economy overall? We're definitely going to have to make a major shift, right? There's no question as we interpret it. Question for those that are listening to this show: what are you going to do to ride this wave? Blockchain, AI, and crypto, so you don't care. So you're so wealthy. Your question is, which house do you want to live in this week? Which yacht do you want? Which airplane do you want to fly on? Right? Where's your next vacation? What are you going to do today because you've played this right and you and your family are all retired for the next few generations? That's what I want you to be asking yourself. That's what I'm asking myself. But anyway, not financial advice. Do your own research. Mara's starting to look attractive to me, just as an investment. Okay. What I was looking for. Oh, well, this is a new one too. OpenAI announces $730 billion pre-money evaluation. They officially announced $110 billion in new investment at a $730 billion pre-money valuation mark, one of the largest private funding rounds in history. Of course, we know that X is going to SpaceX and XAI is going to come out at like 1.5 trillion, but still, that's huge. Yeah, I guess this was what I was going to cover next. Yeah, the PPI data. Let's talk about it. This is what's tanked the market. The PPI, which is basically wholesale, what manufacturers are paying for their products, came out today at 2.9. It was expected 2.6. And then when the core PPI, where you strip out food and some of the core stuff, 3.6%, 3% expected. Huge miss. That means inflation is stickier. We'll see what Trump comes out. He'll probably blame it on the shutdown like he did the GDP. He figured it cost 2% of the GDP with that government shutdown, which it probably did. Realize the Democrats will move heaven and earth to throw roadblocks, and they do not want Trump to have any kind of success. So it's very, very possible. But anyway, huge miss. And this is what's caused the massive drop that we've seen. And we'll check it out one more time before we get out. But a couple of pieces of good news before we leave here. I'll leave you with. Once again, not all these pulled up because here it is. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, Jack Dorsey as well in the news. And by the way, great guy out there pushing Bitcoin, and he really wants to make Bitcoin more available. He really has a vision like Satoshi did of peer-to-peer cash. Some people accuse Jack Dorsey of being Satoshi, but it just in, billionaire Jack Dorsey's block just revealed it accumulated 340 more Bitcoin worth 22 million in Q4, adding Bitcoin proceeds to their treasury. So shout out to him. And yeah, Shazbo said here, and this is true, be careful of Bitcoin mining companies, though. They're highly capital intensive and dependent on Bitcoin price. Not to mention, it can really be feast or famine. And I've been here 15 years. I've seen several cycles of printing money hand over fist, like you have a money printing machine, to people literally scrapping their miners in a horrible, depressing state, literally hiring construction dumpsters and scrapping their miners because the technology is changing too. So yeah, be very, very careful. To me, it'll be a small portion, just a little way to diversify. But yeah, they can be very, very feast or famine. NFT verse, my brother saying great coverage. Appreciate you, man. NFT verse, man. He's been on helping us with the our space there on X for 4 years. We were able to hang out last spring or whenever it was at Bitcoin in Vegas, man. My guy verse, man, always he could take my hour show and he could do it in 15 minutes because he doesn't waste words. Everything he says is like pure alpha. I'll get there someday. Right now, I just have to talk a lot longer so you can hopefully get some value out of it. But see, that's nothing there. Oh, what I was looking for. Once again, let's see if I can find it here. There we go. $2 trillion a Monday asset manager just disclosed they bought another $500 million. They bought $500 million in Bitcoin through MicroStrategies Master. So with that, let's take one quick peek to end things off. Let's just see where we're at with these, what the stock market's doing. And then we'll take one quick look at Bitcoin and we'll call it a day, man. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend. And thank you for joining me live or listening later. But yeah, NASDAQ still down 1.14%. Dow's down 1.64 and S&P is down 0.97. So see how Bitcoin's doing. See if we could hold that 66,000. Nope. Down a little bit. Not horrible. It is what it is. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Feel free to jump over to the Bitcoin morning show, X Space, if you want. And everyone have a great weekend.